Commander Zeus, planet ship Earth. We are traveling through a sea of space, 975 miles per second. We were thinking about increasing the speed. You may feel it a little bit, but we're going to go up to over 1,200 miles per second. And this will be with the help of the I3 Atlas. Please feel free to check it out. We found out that I3 Atlas is going to be dispersing some material into our sun, which will give us the ability to even move to a much higher speed. There may be moments where you see blackouts for a second, won't last long, nothing can hurt you. That's one of the nicest things about it. We'll be moving into 5D, the fifth dimension of sorts. Yes, feeling becomes overwhelmingly pleasurable or overwhelmingly worse for those that are there and they can't stay up with us anyway and they will disappear. It's just part of the nature of it. It's now. And if you're in the frequency of now, those who are not in the frequency of now, they cannot abide within your presence. Somehow, some way, you will never see them again. And it's okay because that which the relationships you're going to make, the love, the friendships, the connections, you'll never remember them again, even the ones that hurt you. See, that's the interesting thing. Not everybody had to hurt you to not to be of value in your life, and you didn't even know that. Neither did I really until I said it. It's an interesting concept, but know this: every day and every way, you are getting better, better, and better. Every day in every way, you are getting better, better, and better, and so am I. I'm seeing myself on the screen anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, I like that idea. All this other bullpucky that was taught to us as kids, we just remove it now in agreement if you want, because the only way you can stay on the train is by agreeing to the fact that I was not really taught right. And yes, a lot of decision making that you made contradicted some of it. And the reason why is you were rebelling against the truth, and your child knew more than you. Consciously, you've always been. Think about it. You were a child. You think about thought and thinking. What does thinking really do? I mean, just consider yourself biting into a lemon right now. Just bite into it, taste it. It kind of makes your mouth go, you know? And what it is, and then you start producing saliva. Okay, so now you're getting a picture that nobody ever wanted you to see. They didn't want you to know this stuff. Why? Because you become way too powerful. But the fact is, you're here and this is it, right? The fact is, you're that elephant that figures out he was never bound anyway. As a baby, they train him. They hook him up to a big old block of concrete with a heavy chain and a heavy cough on their foot and let them pull and pull and pull until they just fucking stop pulling. It only takes about 2 weeks, right? They do feed it, they do water it, they don't spend any time with it. They just never let it off that sucker until it stops pulling. That's how they get a gigantic mammoth beast that could just tear a city apart on a rope in a little thing stuck in the dirt. He feels a little resistance and he stops trying. Think about that. I think about the things in my life personally that I felt a little resistance and I just stopped trying. But I'm not going to do that, right? Today is the day of our amazing good fortune. The Global Peace Project is moving forward with the air generator and also my art. You know, there could be some things I need to do a little bit extra to get everything going, but I believe Source, and Source said everything's going to be okay. right? Everything's going to be okay. Relax, do your best, forget the rest. Ain't nothing more you can do but your best. And why not focus on what you love? Because in order to love the things you see, you've got to love the things you see. And then everything you see is going to be what you love, right? It doesn't mean you have to like everything. The things you really don't like, do not tune into them. It's a radio signal, it's a channel. Why would I think about things that make me feel bad? Really, come on. Do I have to? Well, it involves a loved one. Can I do anything for that loved one? Yes. I can tell them what I know, help them if I can, but I am not going to waste a whole bunch of time, a thought into it. A friend of mine, I noticed they were getting a bunch of bug bites all over their arms. We associated it with, I don't know what it was. Well, eventually we find bed bugs inside the bed, right? Now, when she had said that and she showed me that, I said, I am not going to get, I said it to her personally. I said, I will not sympathetically replicate what you're replicating, right? And I said it. I am not going to sympathetically replicate that because in many cases in my life, I replicated shit because I wanted to be part of the group. I remember as a kid, we were throwing snowballs at cars over in Seattle. And guess what? We hit a police car. That sucker pulled over. I hid. He didn't find me, but all my friends got found. So, well, I jumped out of the bush. I'm here, because I wanted to be part of the group. Funny, isn't it? I remember just recently when a lady and I, we'd spent time together, and it's about 60 days we'd spent together. And she says, I don't think I'm your soulmate. I said, well, when are you going to leave? And she said, well, I was thinking tonight. I said, well, I'd rather you leave while I'm here, you know? And, uh, and she started getting really upset that I was showing no remorse on it, right? Not knowing it did hurt. But you know what? If someone doesn't want to be there, I am not a jailer. I am not going to ask you to stay someplace you don't want to be. But she did come to me, wanted me to change the way I was doing things. And I was like, look, I've got these set patterns I'm doing. I'm running them. It's a course in order to help me get better at me. And if you're willing, if you want to hear what I do, you're welcome to hear it. And I'm just repeating this stuff over and over again. And she'd been at my place for 60 days, and I did the same thing for 60 days. Morning time, patterns, right? And I think it was probably about, you know, 20 days in, maybe less. I was getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get my day going, right? And then she'd get up like at 8 or 9, and I would be already awake, and she was waking up. So that kind of pissed her off that I was so active and stuff like that. But that's how I wake up normally. I try to work my way into it. But then I needed to be silent before she got up, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit. This is what's going to happen." And I said, "Okay, I can start here. I'll just modify some of my meditation." But yeah, I think I decided that I wanted her to go anyway. So when it came time, it was like, okay, I wasn't going to kick her out. I'm not going to put anybody out on the street. That's fucked up. They do it to themselves, and I don't have to have them back. You see, it's a choice always, right? In all ways. Hmm. Heaven is a choice. I think it's heaven because I'm every day in every way I'm getting better, better, and better, and I love that. I have a friend over in England. She's not very happy with her husband, and I don't know who she was when they got married or anything like that. I do know that we change, and it's kind of unfittingly interesting to think that if one person in a family decides to change and the other doesn't do it, it's going to be divorce because that separation is just going to be so profound. It wasn't until I actually meditated that my brain woke up. You know, I I was like, what? And then I thought to myself, I heard Saint Francis of Assisi wouldn't kill a fly, right? And I thought, well, why? And then Source answers the question when you ask, and it said, "This is my consciousness." And so we have many aspects of self within this field. And if it's in my field, as I was shared with, is that it is my soulmate, it is my creation. What do you mean, your creation? Well, this is the interesting thing why I believe it's said that we should always associate ourselves with people that are like minded, because the world that we create is the world that we have created within us, right? And now this is where epigenetics come into it, and it's like, what are you talking about, man? You got to be kidding me, right? So apparently, we have atoms that just create from within us, and we push these atoms out at the rate of, oh my gosh, I don't know, 200, 100 million, 200 million every day. And every atom or every cell has atoms inside it, right? And the atoms that are inside the cell are nothing but electricity. They're actually, I think it was, if you go to Forbidden Knowledge, Billy Carson, you got Bruce Lipton on Origins of Belief. This is the baseline of epigenetics. So every atom has a electrical frequency, right? It has an electrical frequency of 1.4 kilohertz of electricity. That's its voltage, right? So you think, wow, 1.4 kilohertz, how much is that? Well, you wouldn't even feel it if it was touching your skin, and it is, right? Because you live in a field of nothing but atoms, because everything's created from the original source, which is the atom, which is nothing but electricity. It's a wave function. It is a living substance. So now you're pushing out 150 million cells every day that's full of all these atoms, right? And they're creating, the skin of the atom is the dust of the ground, I guess, right? So these atoms, well, they create everything. And the life that is from the attention that you give it, because your attention is where your energy goes, right? My attention is where my energy is now going. If I'm spitting it on porn, it's not the cum that's coming out, even though you gotta make it. This is for our guys. It's not just the cum, and that is life force. And what am I doing with it? I'm scrapping myself, treating myself ill, but it's true. It's me. It's actually the building force of me as the being. And I think it's like, I'm not even going to pretend to know. It's always good though, because we're always creating more, right? And your mind is actually a little bit more clear when you're down low on the amount, right? Which is an interesting thing, right? And I'm just talking, okay? So I don't know what I don't know. And please, I am not a friggin' teacher. I'm just talking from my experience. They say we have to manage our testosterone levels, but what about the actual level of knowing that your body is going into what would be said as a becoming better and better? And what does that look like in the whole thing? Because when I think about it, when I'm fucking full of testosterone, I want to fuck everything. Guaranteed, and I will fuck it as soon as, look at me. I didn't really have a problem, right? I thought I did, And the real challenge was me getting over the fact of me. And that was the challenge, right? Because number one, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I still don't know what I don't know, but I do know this, that today I don't do those things, and I'm not really interested in fucking relationship. I'm not saying a relationship. I said a fucking relationship, meaning that I'm just gonna fuck and then say bye. I'm not into anything like that because truly what I want is a best friend, partner, and lover. Somebody that I can spend time with, somebody that will spend time with me, and somebody, if they need my help, I'm gonna help them. But you know what? I'm hoping she's got some money so then we can actually just go and live, right? That would be kind of cool. But reality, I've got so many ideas. That's why I want the money. I want to be able to just institute the ideas that the Global Peace Project has, and then money is not really a problem for anything. It's just a matter of doing and how many people we can help along the way. And no, I'm not going to spend my whole life trying to help people that want to help themselves, right? I will help themselves. And that is the entire point of the issue. If you want a man to learn how to live, you have to teach him how to fish. You don't have to feed him, right? It's most of the thing here. Most of the shit that they give you is nothing but crap. Honestly, all this, I went, you know what? Tune in to Pam Yogini. Yogini, she's got a wellness site. She is a master. Okay. She's doing it. She's putting all her heart into it. And she's getting better and better every day. And know that we can change everything. All we have to do is be willing to follow suit and know that we're creating what we're seeing. How are we doing that? Well, I'm thinking about it. And so something in me, and I don't even know what it is, figures stuff out, tells me what's going to happen, and it happens. And the times when I don't listen and I think, I've got this, I know what I'm doing, nothing works out. Why? Because it's not me, it's the universe. I mean, you put forth the effort to help others, and guess what? You get the return of helping others. And why do you want to help others? Because they're you. There's nothing that I've deserved if I've received anything good to the point where I can say, well, I did this, and yeah, I deserve this. It's just, I decided not to just focus on me. And then the universe did, right? I wonder if it's like, the Jesus Take the Wheel song, I'm driving myself, right? I got my own idea of which road I want to take, at whatever speed it may be. And then I realize I'm freaking lost. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then I said, take the wheel, universe. And then stuff happens. Things fall apart. People disappear. They call you names. They make up stories and stuff like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And fortunately, by the grace of God, I got stalled into meditation because without meditation, I would not be here, friends. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my gosh. Think about it. For those of you that are meditators and that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't know where I was going with all this stuff here, but reality is we're cruising along now at 1,500 miles per second. Planet Earth is rotating very smoothly. Things may seem a little bit like a hologram, but it's okay. We're getting to the destination where we want to be, and that is the golden age. And so, with those who all believe in the golden age, it's only subject to belief because you have to be it in order to see it, and that's the secret to it. You have to be what? You have to learn to be that which you already are, meaning the Holy Spirit within you will give you all knowledge, right? And using the filter of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, uh, selflessness, and self control, you can filter out the thoughts that you were thinking. And if it doesn't measure, then discard it because it never existed in the kingdom of heaven, right? It never existed before in the kingdom of heaven, and thus should not even have the very utterance of its name or the words of it being ever repeated, because the vibrational frequency would still give it life. And there should be no life in that which is not, right? So that's all I got. Um, Thank you very much for donating to the Global Peace Project. You can do it at the Global Peace Project, PayPal, Cash App, money sign, Global Peace Project. Um, what's the thought for the day? Well, we'll do a runes, and that's the rune of love, right? Luguz, Luguz, Luguz. It's love. Looks like a number one, but it's faced the other way. And that means love. Have a blessed day.